Have you ever heard the story of a girl with hair so long it could be used as a rope? This isn't just any fairy tale. It's the incredible story of Rapunzel. It all begins with a couple who longed for a child. They lived next door to a magnificent garden owned by a powerful enchantress named Dame Gossel. One day, the wife saw some delicious-looking Rapunzel, a type of lettuce, growing in the garden and developed an intense craving for it. Her husband, fearing for her health, snuck into the garden at night to pick some for her. He was caught by Dame Gossel, who was furious. She agreed to let him go, but only on one condition: he must give her their firstborn child. Terrified, the man agreed. Soon after, the couple had a beautiful baby girl. True to her word, Dame Gossel appeared and took the child, naming her Rapunzel. She locked the little girl away in a tall, secluded tower in the middle of a forest. The tower had no doors and no stairs, only a single window at the very top. When Dame Gossel wanted to visit, she would stand at the bottom and call out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel, who had magnificent long golden hair, would then unpin her braids and let them cascade down the side of the tower, allowing the enchantress to climb up. For years, this was Rapunzel's entire world. She spent her days singing with her beautiful voice, a sound that echoed through the lonely forest. One day, a prince was riding through the woods and was captivated by her enchanting song. He was drawn to the tower but couldn't find any way to get in. He returned every day, hiding and listening to her sing, completely mesmerized. One evening, he saw Dame Gossel arrive and heard her call out the famous words. He watched in amazement as a long, golden braid fell and the enchantress climbed up. The next day, after the enchantress had left, the prince decided to try his luck. He went to the tower and called out, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Sure enough, the braid fell, and he climbed up. At first, Rapunzel was frightened to see a stranger, but the prince spoke to her with such kindness that her fear soon vanished. He told her how her singing had touched his heart and asked her to be his wife. Rapunzel, who had never known such kindness or affection, agreed. They devised a plan for her escape. The prince would visit her every evening, bringing a skein of silk each time. Rapunzel would then weave the silk into a ladder, and when it was long enough, she would climb down and they would ride away together. Their secret meetings continued, but one day, Rapunzel made a slip. While talking to Dame Gossel, she innocently said, "You are so much heavier to pull up than the young prince." The enchantress flew into a rage. In her fury, she took a pair of shears and snipped off Rapunzel's beautiful long hair. Then, she cast Rapunzel out into a desolate wilderness to fend for herself. That evening, when the prince called out, Dame Gossel let down the severed braids. The prince climbed up, only to be met by the terrifying face of the enchantress. She mocked him, telling him he would never see his beloved Rapunzel again. In despair, the prince leaped from the tower. He survived the fall, but the thorns at the bottom blinded him. For years, the prince wandered through the forest, blind and heartbroken, surviving on roots and berries, calling out for his lost love. Meanwhile, Rapunzel lived a lonely life in the wilderness, eventually giving birth to twins, a boy and a girl. One day, the prince stumbled into the part of the wilderness where Rapunzel was living. He heard a familiar, beautiful voice singing a sad song. He followed the sound and, to his astonishment, found Rapunzel. Rapunzel recognized him immediately. Overjoyed and heartbroken to see him blind, she embraced him and began to cry. As her tears fell onto his face, 2 of them touched his eyes. Miraculously, his sight was restored. He could see his beloved Rapunzel and their beautiful children for the first time. The prince then led his family back to his kingdom, where they were welcomed with great joy. And there, after all the hardship and sorrow, they lived happily ever after. What a journey, right? It's a story that shows us how love and hope can endure even the darkest of times. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from our magical world. See you next time.